Hi, I'm Jim, and I want to talk about kind of a triggering subject slavery. How does it work? How did it start? Well, it turns out every continent had slaves before white people got there, but let's skip forward to America. Now, before white people got to America, it was just Indians enslaving other Indians. But who was the first person to own black slaves in America? Well, it turns out it was a guy named Anthony Johnson. And it turns out he wasn't an evil white man. He was a black guy just practicing what his culture does. And I imagine he had a neighbor. Let's just call him Bob. And Bob says to Anthony, Anthony, how do you keep your plantation so productive? And Anthony says, why, it's all thanks to slave labor. And Bob says, slave labor? But where would I even buy slaves? Now, it turns out the transatlantic slave trade got 90% of its slaves through African slave traders and warlords. So that makes the scene in Roots, where Kunta Kinte gets kidnapped by white people, propaganda, because there's a 90% chance it didn't happen like that. It's also kind of propaganda. He's just minding his own business, just walking through. But it turns out that most of the slaves taken were prisoners of war or war criminals for either attacking another tribe or another tribe retaliated against a previous attack. So, yeah, that's kind of upsetting. But I also think it's wrong to guilt white people into buying slaves by saying, if you don't buy this guy, I'm just going to kill him. And, that's a pretty good sales pitch. But it also turns out that in America, there were over 3,000 slave owners who were black, not white, and they owned over 12,000 slaves. So it really bothers me when people act like they're on some sort of high horse because there's less slavery done by their people, because you're just really uneducated. There's so much more slavery in your culture. Have a nice day.